This is Michael, and I've been making games for about 2 years now. At the moment, I'm working on my indie game SimpliCITY, and this is the first devlog about it. So hello and welcome to this introduction to SimpliCITY. My goal with this project is to have a fresh take on city builders. At the same time, I want to create a city builder that is simple and accessible to everyone. Therefore the name SimpliCITY. So here we are in Unity, and let's just click start, and there's a little start menu, and again there's a little button that we just click. Then here we are in SimpliCITY. On the right hand side you can see a little dialog box that I can use to display some text, and there's a little chicken next to it, so that's nice. You can already see that we have some rock formations, some tiny forests, different biomes, being the grasslands, the desert, and this little river. And yeah, this is what the world looks like. So here you can see some buildings that I've just placed to show you some main mechanics of this game, SimpliCITY. So if you look at it, we have these 3 lumberjacks here, these 2 stonemasons, and a fisher hut near the river. But let's look at what a building actually does. So every building starts at stage 0. You can see that right next to the image of the lumberjack on the left, it's stage 0. And basically what a building does, it checks if it can enter stage 1. So to do that, it needs to fulfill all the needs of stage 1. In this case, this would be 2 forests in a range of 1.5. So it checks basically if in this range, this is dark here, if there are 2 forests. For this lumberjack, for example, this is the case. So there are these 2 forests here. As soon as it has reached the first stage, it checks if it can enter the second stage. And here you can see it would need 4 forests to do that, and it only has got 2, so it stays at stage 1. With every stage, there are also resources that are being produced. So the lumberjack produces wood, and as soon as he reaches the second stage, he produces 4 wood in total. And at stage 1 he produces only 1 wood. This works the exact same for the other buildings. So the stonemason, for example, first of all needs a rock on the field that is placed on. Then it needs some food to reach the second stage to produce even more stone. And this food is produced by this fisher hut, for example. So you can see up here again, it produces 3 wood, 3 food. And this stonemason is still at stage 1 because it doesn't have any food in this range of 3. So now that we know how a building works, let's build one ourselves. To do that, you have to click on this building button, and then you see our little inventory, consisting of a lumberjack and a windmill at the moment. So let's try to build a windmill. As you can see, there are 2 new stages that appeared on the left hand side. So stage -1 and stage 0. And these only appear while building buildings. So you have to complete them and reach stage 0 and complete stage 0 as well, and then you are able to build the building on the field that you want to place it on. So basically here I don't fulfill stage -1 and stage 0. Stage -1 is fulfilled there I just need some ground. That just means that I can't place this in the river. So in the river, stage 1 isn't fulfilled, as you can see. But as soon as I have some ground, it is fulfilled. So stage 0 is a bit more complicated. So there you can see we need some stone from the stonemasons and some wood from the lumberjacks. So we have to find a position where this is the case. You can also look if the image of the windmill is colorful or if it's just red, because if it's red you can't place it, and as soon as it has its normal colors you can't place it. So here, for example, would be a spot where you can place it. So let's do that. And you can see that has worked, but it isn't producing anything at the moment. So we still need to fulfill stage 1. So it does actually something. And you see we need to wheat. So for this we need some wheat fields. Let me just give me some of them. And it's just the same as with the stonemasons and the lumberjack. Of course you can't just cheat your wheat fields in your inventory like I just did. But there's a certain part dedicated to getting buildings in SimpliCITY. And these are the quests. So here's one quest. It looks quite ugly, I know. But you see, in this quest there are 2 lumberjacks. And that means that as soon as we complete this quest, we get these 2 lumberjacks in our inventory. So if we complete this, we would have a total of 3 lumberjacks. Because we already have 1. Plus the 2 here, that makes a total of 3. So what happens if we click on it? First of all, this chicken appears again. But as you can see, we are in a different location. And there's this big text box where it says place and supply all buildings. And that just means that we are given some buildings and we have to manage to place all of them down. So let's try that. As you can see, we have 3 lumberjacks here. This is a different inventory as before. This is just for this one level. And we already know how building works, so let's just place them down. So each of them has 2 forests in this range. And then we get our little reward, and that is 2 lumberjacks that we can now use in this normal world, where we build our actual city. So now you can see we have 3 lumberjacks that we can use somewhere. And on top of that, a new quest appears. This time we would get 2 forests and 1 lumberjack. So this is the end of this little introduction about SimpliCITY. Of course I wasn't able to show you everything I made so far, but I think you should have an idea what this game is about. From now on I will be releasing a new devlog every month. If you want to keep even closer track of development, you can do that by joining our Discord server. The link to that is in the description. The rest of this video will just be some footage of the development so far. Thanks for watching.